Hi, it's Jack here at System Trader, and in this very short video I'm going to present you another example of a portfolio, passive portfolio. This time it's called Golden Butterfly. It's a very simple portfolio which is built of 5 ETFs, and we can see that here in details. Let's look under the hood and then let's discuss the performance and let's comment it. As we can see, this portfolio is built of 40% stocks. We have 20% of stocks from S&P 500, and we have American small cap value stocks. And that's all for the stock part. So basically, we have only American stocks, which is a bit problematic, I think, from my point of view. And I think that even for someone who's living in United States, it's good to have some exposure to international stocks. Then we have 40% of government bonds, and in particular we have 20% of 10-year government bonds and 30-year government bonds, another 20%. And the last bit of that portfolio is gold, 20%. So very simple portfolio, and here I even put some ETFs which would allow us to implement such portfolio. When we look at the results, they are really great. And the first problem is, which I have, is that we can go to the 70s because we have gold, which is not really allowing us to test that portfolio behind the 70s because the gold was associated to American dollar. But if we look on the last 49 years, we see that annual growth rate was over 10.8% per year, which is really, really great. If we also take into account that the maximum drawdown during that period was less than 20%, 19.2%, which is really great. And also the volatility of that portfolio was very low, below 10%, 9%, which is really great. So when we look on this performance here, really it looks awesome, amazing, I would say. But I have a problem with that portfolio because, first of all, we only have the period which covers gold. So we cannot test fully the period before 70s, although I will do it in a while. So please stay with me. And another thing is that 40% of that portfolio is in bonds and 20% in long-term bonds, which were having a great period from 80s till today because the interest rates were in general in the downtrend, which is really great for that type of instrument. The problem is that interest rates today are very low, therefore there's not really a lot of room for going down. And today these bonds are not paying so much as they used to in the past years. That's one thing. Another thing is that especially for the long-term bonds, the inflationary period is really tough. So again, that will be a problematic part of the portfolio. And we have 40% in bonds, so we have to take into account that a big portion of that great result is coming just from the bonds, which may be very difficult to happen in the subsequent decades. But if we go back beyond 70s, and I know that's not really fair because before 70s, gold was more behaving like T-bills, we can say. But if we go back to 1926, and then we will do the simulation, we see that, of course, the compounded annual growth rate dropped a bit, but still it's over 9%, which is great. But the maximum drawdown is really big now. We had from 70s below 20%, whereas now we have almost minus 50%, which is changing this performance really very seriously. So in fact, the portfolio, which seems to be very, very conservative. Now, if we go back to 1926, seems like very aggressive, because although we had 40% of stocks at the time, and that portfolio is just built of 40% of stocks, we had a drawdown at the level of nearly 50%. And by the way, the standard deviation of the portfolio, the volatility is still pretty low, 11%, which is low that in general we can say about stocks, which are more than 15%. But you have to remember that 40% of bonds plus 20% of gold means that gold at the time was performing like T-bills. Then basically 60% of the portfolio was really very low, had a low volatility. Therefore, we could expect that the volatility will not be that high, but still that drawdown is changing a lot. So just to summarize, if someone is really interested about such portfolio, I think that in long term this portfolio will be profitable, but I would not assume that this performance from 70s, which we could see over almost 50 years, will be really tough to happen again. That's all from my side. If you would like to see more portfolios or you would like to build your own, I just encourage you to download the copy of System Trader and give it a try. Bye-bye.